Hello, dear all present. Beginning the joint press conference of Minister of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Latvia, Baiba Braže, and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Serbia, Marko Djuric. It will happen in English and Latvian, and the floor goes to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Latvia. Dear colleagues, hello. Hello to everybody who is interested in Latvian foreign policy and this important visit today. Our guest today is the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Serbia, Marko Djuric, and we are meeting, I think, for the third or fourth time already in the EU meetings and during NATO summit where the partner states took part. And this is an important visit for both of us. This sort of a visit hasn't happened for a long time, and we had the opportunity to discuss in detail our bilateral relations. That's nothing new. Our relations are not new. And they were founded in 1926, and then 2 years later, we will be celebrating centenary. And let's remember that these relations, these diplomatic relations, were renewed, and that it's not something completely new or newly founded, and this is a framework that we should all be aware of, and that we are continuing and building our future relations. And in terms of content that is important for us is that Serbia has chosen its way towards the EU. We were discussing practical matters, what this implies. Our road to the EU was successful, and the next steps that Serbia will take or wants to take, we discussed the situation in the region, in the Balkans. We discussed the situation with the Russian war against Ukraine, and I was grateful, I expressed my gratitude to Serbia that has expressed that they support the Ukrainian territorial integrity, supporting all the NATO resolutions in the votes. And we were also discussing how to deepen our economic relationship. Mr. Minister will be talking to the Chamber of Commerce after this section, and some sensitive questions, which is the dialogue with Pristina and the significance of it on the road to the EU and the plans of accession to the EU. So many different questions were discussed. Either way, Serbia is a very important country to us because of its significance in the region, in our bilateral relations, and for its road to the EU, and a strong, powerful partner in NATO, and we are acknowledging our interest not only in direct dialogues, but in cooperation from the EU, and also through more than 100 of our troops stationed in the Kosovo operation in the region, which is our largest contingency there. So thank you for the visit, and I was very glad to accept you here. The floor goes to you.
Dear Madam Minister, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it is my privilege and honor to be the first Serbian foreign minister after many years visiting our friendly nation of Latvia, and being here in Riga provides me a great honor as our long-standing relation is about to turn 100 years, and we will certainly celebrate this as both Latvia and Serbia are two freedom-loving countries which also share a joint commitment to the European Union. Serbia has a clear ambition to complete all of the reforms necessary to join the European Union by 2027. This includes reforms in the political sphere, in the economic sphere, in the institutional sphere, and we can certainly draw and learn from the experience that our Latvian and other Baltic colleagues and friends have. We have had a productive exchange when it comes to the EU accession agenda and the EU accession process. We are grateful for the vision to support the enlargement of the European Union, not just on Serbia, but on the broader Balkan region. Of course, it is very important to try and develop the economic exchange between our two countries. I'm proud to come at a time when we really have an amazing story to tell about Serbia and its economy, which has doubled in size in less than a decade, and we have attracted 65% of all foreign investments in our region, with a big emphasis on IT and software and new technologies. We would love to connect our economies better. Later today, I will meet the head of the Latvian Chamber of Commerce, where we will discuss new avenues of cooperation between our two countries. I should also use this opportunity to invite all the Latvians and all the Serbians and all other people of goodwill to use the direct flight that exists between Riga and Belgrade, connecting two amazing cities, and to take the advantage of the opportunity this offers to travel freely between our countries and to inspire these connections. We also, as my colleague the minister said, share some views in the international sphere. We have supported all UN resolutions with regards to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and continue to uphold the principles of international law uniquely and unequivocally in all cases, equally when it comes to the international stage. When it comes to our region, I want to express gratitude to our Latvian friends for being present and helping with maintaining peace and stability as part of the K4 mission. I think it is crucial also to keep supporting the dialogue process under the EU facilitation. I use this opportunity to inform my Latvian colleagues about the difficult position of the Serbian community and the challenges that we are facing, but also to send a message that Serbia is very much committed to finding rational and comprehensive solutions for this issue. I also want to say that we will continue developing both the bilateral relationship with Latvia, but we also want to engage with the broader region. And I want to tell my dear colleague also in front of the media that you're always welcome in Belgrade, and looking forward to return this visit as soon as possible. Thank you.
Paldies ministriem, laiks medī.
Thank you to the ministers. Time for a question from the media. Please identify yourself and who you're asking the question to, and please use the microphone. Ines Trenča from news agency Leta. Hello. We have a question to the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Serbia. So, what is the Serbian view? How could you solve the war in Ukraine? Thank you.
That's not an easy question, to say the least. Unfortunately, the tragedy that is ongoing is striking deep, I think, all Europeans. For us, it is necessary to unequivocally uphold international law, to uphold the UN Charter, to stop utilizing military means to accomplish the type of political goals as we have seen in the past. And this is the reason why Serbia has supported consistently all UN resolutions upholding Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have also taken part recently in the Burgenstock Peace Summit in Switzerland, where we supported the joint declaration. And that's the best answer, I'm afraid, I can offer. Having ourselves suffered immensely as a region during the 90s, maybe we understand as much as you do here in the Baltics how difficult and tragic all of this is, and why we both fully sign up to the adherence to both the UN Charter and the inacceptability of using violence as
Paldies, Ina Strasdiņa.
Thank you, Ina Strasdiņa, Latvian television. So, I would like to ask a question to both Mr. Djuric and Madam Braže. So, to Mr. Djuric, could you tell us, on a government level, do you admit that Russia is an aggressor and should be held accountable? Why do I ask this? Because from one side, you support Ukraine, we know that, but from the other side, you are still have a close ties with Russia, and there are mutual agreements. You have not stopped this link, this connection to Russia. So what do you do in this situation? And the second question: could Serbia join the sanction regime, since you're a candidate country, candidate state, and this is a very important question for the EU because we know what the common stance in the Union is. Except for some countries like Hungary. And the question for Madam Braže: did you and Mr. Djuric discuss these questions, that these ties with Russia can still be an obstacle on the road to the EU, and did you have recommendations what you can do in this situation?
Thank you for the question. Serbia has a very principled position, and we are not neutral when it comes to the invasion of Ukraine. We have taken a very clear stance condemning the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and in that respect we have taken a principled position and voted on a number of resolutions. And this includes not just the UN format, but it also includes the OSCE format, it includes, as I mentioned, the Bürgerstock format, and we will continue to provide humanitarian aid and whatever we can to alleviate the situation, because, as they said, we do understand. And for us, it is a matter of principle. On the other hand, as I discussed with my colleague, the minister here, and of course she did raise this issue, we have our own specific situation in the region. We are doing our best to align as much as possible with the common security and external policy of the European Union. We also are taking into account some specific issues that we have in our region and some specific national interests that we do have in our region. I hope this at least partly answers your question.
Thank you. Yes, of course, we discussed the question of Russian aggression against Ukraine and what are the practical steps to be taken, what we are doing and how we do it, including on affairs regarding the border and the situation on the borders. Again, there is no doubt what is the Serbian stance on the war and the Russian aggression. And it was useful for me to hear that practically Serbia ensures that dual-use products and other products that can be used in the war, they do not make it to Russia and does not strengthen the military capacity of Russia. That was an important question. Another question from the Latvian television. So what did you mean, a specific situation? What are these peculiar things in Serbia in relation with Russia which make it hard to join the sanction regime and to completely cut the tie with Russia?
Unfortunately, we have in our own region the situation with regards to the relations between Belgrade and Pristina. In 2008, Kosovo unilaterally declared independence, which was not recognized by us, not recognized by a huge part of the world, including Ukraine and Russia. So both Ukraine and Russia support our position on the question of Kosovo and Metohija. And for us, this is not just a question of certain amount of territory, it is also a matter of national pride, national tradition, history and culture, and identity. So this is a very sensitive issue, and we have to take a lot of care how we tackle this issue and how we tackle our international relations because we do not want to undermine our own national position on this issue, which is for us very high on the priority list. For us, it is very, very significant because we have a lot of our people living there, and while at the same time, as I said, taking a very bold principled position, condemning the invasion and supporting UN resolutions and everything else, we also have to take into account some of our regional interests. But we discussed today also ideas how to move forward and how to find compromise solutions, how to work towards creating a new type of relations, and in maintaining stability in our region and preventing any kind of destabilization scenario, regardless of from where it might come from, both Latvia and broader Europe can have a firm and solid partner in Serbia, as we are searching for the solution for some of our regional problems. I hope I know it's a complex set of issues. We have a bit of a different historic experience in Serbia, and I have a lot of sympathy and understanding for the experience of others, but in our case, this is the situation.
Un no mūsu puses mēs ļoti
And from our side,
facilitate direct understanding that we welcome very close dialogues that you have with Ukraine, both at the level of the presidents, between President Zelensky and Vučić, and also between you and Minister Kuleba and other establishment relations, and very practical support that you give to Ukraine. Minister Kuleba has briefed me on those conversations, so I think the practical outcomes are the most important. Thank you.
Mums ir jautājumam vienam vēl.
we have time for one more question, Aaron Seglits, Bloomberg.
This is my question to the Serbian Foreign Minister. Does Serbia plan to increase weapons sales to Ukraine beyond the 800 million in ammunition that is already sold?
And also I have a question to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Braže. What do you think of the Hungary's decision to give out visas to Russian and Belarusian citizens? Could this be a cause of concern for security risks to Schengen countries?
You can understand that I cannot comment on specific issues of that nature, but what I can say is that Serbia definitely has already provided a lot of humanitarian assistance when it comes to the energy grid which has been destroyed in the air raids, and we have also provided shelter and assistance for more than 80,000 refugees in Serbia, and we will continue doing so. In late May, we had a visit of both the First Lady Olena Zelenska and the Foreign Minister Dmitro Kuleba, who's actually the first foreign minister to visit me when I assumed responsibility as Serbia's foreign minister. And we are very grateful to Ukraine for their support when it comes to our regional issues. We will continue helping and providing humanitarian aid, and also on a political level, sticking to this principal position in international organizations.
Paldies par jautājumu.
Thank you for the question. Of course, as usual, we have our hearts hot and our heads cool, and we are gathering information through our embassy in Budapest, and we've asked for the opinion of the European Commission. And how does this work? Is it bilateral? How it works in a broader context? So we'll see. Thank you to the ministers. Thank you to everyone present, and the press conference is closed. Thank you.